Hey everybody, it's Irene with BrainStormAcres, and as you can see, because it's so darn bright and so darn warm, I'm in the greenhouse. Now this morning, I am going to try and play a little catch-up. In the last week or so, we've had a few things bolt because it's just plain getting hot during the day. We've had a lot of broccoli come out of here. We've had a lot of cabbage come out of here. We've planted sweet potatoes and carrots, planted a bunch more cabbage. We have a whole tray of onions planted, and we even are playing with some tomatoes that are clones from last year. So what am I doing in here this morning? I am planting the first batch of flowers. Usually by this time I would already have some flowers planted. It's just been one of those years. It was too cold and we were just a little too disorganized. We're going to do better next year. My goal is to do better every year. That's the best way to put it. Most of us are not blessed with a fully heated greenhouse that's got cooling and heating and this and that and the other thing, and yeah. Okay, we live off grid. My husband and I live on 43 acres in northern Arizona at about 5,200 feet. And yeah, we're in the process of updating our solar system again, just doing a temporary arrangement to get more power into the batteries. We're hoping to be able to make that permanent later this year, and then it will be a whole different planet, hopefully. But meanwhile, we're working with what we have, which is kind of like the way most people around here do it. You're working with what you have. So my goal today is get a whole stack of flowers planted, and then I'll be harvesting broccoli, probably harvesting some cabbage, and I've already done a little bit of watering this morning. I may decide to take the rutabagas today too, and probably some of the kohlrabi. Okay. My husband bought me a beautiful bouquet of flowers the other day from the grocery store when he went to get milk and stuff like that. So I don't need to cut any flowers today. But just in case you're not aware of the flowers we have in here, got to show you this. Now, is that pretty or what? Those are calendula. It was an accidental seeding that was probably left over from a seed that didn't germinate at the right time. And we wound up with calendulas in here all winter, and it has been amazing. There's also some cosmos back in the corner there behind it, that little tuft of green over here. I don't know how they're going to like it in here, but I tell you what, the calendula did awesome in here all winter, and it was the most cheerful thing on the face of the planet to have calendula flowers blooming when it was just plain miserable outside with snow and ice and everything else. Calendula are perennials, so at some point I will probably actually transplant these, but I haven't decided when that point will be because I'm enjoying them way too much in here. Outside we have, what do we have that's blooming? Our crocus is done, our daffodils are about halfway done, the tulips have just popped up, some of our other perennials like calendula, hollyhocks, they're starting to come up, but nobody's blooming yet except for those first bulbs. And we do have one or two Johnny jump ups that have popped up and are blooming. So it's wonderful to have some flowers. We do have butterflies now, so they are thoroughly enjoying, oh, our rosemary's blooming. So they are thoroughly enjoying the rosemary and anything else they can find outside. Here's my onions. Now, I have to admit, some of the soil was too dry, and I've never had this problem before with this particular potting soil. I mean, with this particular starting soil. Usually, if I can, I will fill the containers with potting soil the night before, and soak them super good with water overnight and then plant them in the morning. Well, I didn't have time to do that the last time, so I just plopped it all together, and it's not usually a problem. This time it has been a problem. There is a section of soil right in the center here, which I think came from a bag that had been previously opened and left open, like the clip that was on it fell off, and that soil is just too dry, and it is hydrophobic. That means it is repelling the water, and I am having a heck of a time keeping the center section wet. So every time I walk by it, I'm squirting it with some more water. It's doing better. Where I had like a dozen cells that wouldn't absorb water before, I'm down to only 1 or 2, which is better. That's really terrible for germination, so we're not going to allow that to happen again if we can avoid it. What I did before you got here this morning was I filled up, this is a 162 tray, that means it's got 162 cells in it. This is a seed starting medium. This is the stuff we use. It's Black Gold by Sungrow Horticulture. We get ours through House Tools. If you want anything from House Tools, there is a code and a URL in our show notes, and we'd really appreciate it if you would use that when you buy stuff from Hoss. It lets them know that you found out about them through us, and okay, time to get going with the seeds. So the first thing I'm planting is calendula. This is Prince, a variety from Hoss. It's the same as the ones you've seen here growing in the greenhouse. We also have some growing in the yard. We experimented it with for the first time last year, and we loved it. Calendula is a short-lived perennial, but it tends to naturally spread if it's kept healthy, and you probably won't ever need to plant it again unless you totally forget to water it. Next, I'm going to be putting in some lupine seeds. Lupine is also a short-lived perennial. It grows wild up here in the mountains, and the colors up there are all blue. Once in a rare while we get some white ones, but this particular mix we got from Seeds of Change. It is a selection of seeds. We did put in a few last year. It's kind of an experiment to see how well they'll do here. We love them. They're just so beautiful. And the more colors we can get, the more we like it. And it's the textures of the plants too, because you'll find that the leaves are very different colors, the heights of the plants are different colors. It just makes it kind of exciting. Now that little sprayer I just held up is a cheapie from Harbor Freight, and it is my standby for these kind of things, because I can water the plants without washing away the seeds. Next is Gomphrena, and Gomphrena is one of my very favorite flowers in the world. It is also called globe amaranth. We will be planting 4 different varieties. The first one is from Johnny's, and it's called Carmen, and it is red. And it's a pretty true red, so it's kind of cool. Then the next one will be QIS Mix by Johnny's, which is a selection of colors, including white and, honestly, I don't remember. I want to say some pink, maybe some red. And then the last 2 that I'll plant will be Ping Pong Mix, which is white, pink, and purple, and then purple. And these are both from Garden Trends, which is sold by Harris Seeds. We grew these last year, and I think we also grew, well, we grew the QIS earlier than that by Johnny's, and the Carmen earlier than that too. The cool thing about globe amaranths, also called Gomphrena, is that you can use them as dried flowers, or you can use them as cut flowers. If you use them as cut flowers, they have an amazingly long shelf life in your vase. The last one there is Bachelor Buttons, which is by Seeds of Change. This one is just a blue, but later I will be planting another one called Polka Dot, which is by Hoss, and that will be a selection of seeds. And then we have, last but not least, by any sense of the imagination, probably the most important thing, water. So until next time, bye.